I'm going to tell you a few things. You know, uh, besides the PCGT, I also run another NGO called the Mohalla Committees, which is for communal harmony. In fact, I did that earlier, because when I came back from Romania, when I was ambassador for 4 years, I returned in 1994 January, and I met a gentleman called Mr. Khurakiwala in the presence of Dara and Dara's cousin Keku Gandhi at the MRA's this office there at Kumaram, and they had asked me to come and meet them, and they wanted to do something about communal harmony. A day earlier, by chance, I had also met Mr. Khurakiwala, who owns Akbar Ali, and he said he was he was the sheriff before your principal became sheriff. He was earlier. And this gentleman said, I'm getting old, I can't do this work. Can you do it? So I said, yes, I will think about it. And the very next day, I was asked by MRA's representative to take over this job of trying to bring communal harmony in this city. Now, I belong to this city. My family migrated from Goa, which is a little more south than Bombay. And we have been here for 200 years. And I consider this to be my city. And I was in Romania reading about all the things that were happening in Mumbai in 92, 93. And it was very shameful. People killing each other in the name of God. But I mean, I can't understand which God will say that you kill somebody else because of me. I just can't understand that. And I said that I'm very happy to take over this work. Mr. Vajpayee became the Prime Minister soon after that, and he phoned me from after taking over within the first week, asking me to go as governor of J&K. So I told him, sir, I would very much like to do it, but I've got a much bigger job to do. Much bigger, I feel, much more important. Because as a governor, you get locked up and you feel very important, but you can't do any work. Whereas here, I'm doing day-to-day work, going into the slums, I'm getting the people together to understand each other, not to fight in the name of religion, because no religion teaches you to fight. Religion, after all, did not exist when human beings first came to the world. It was founded or formed by people, by human beings, in order to understand how they came into existence. That is how religion first came, because people couldn't explain. They couldn't explain many things, and to explain the unexplained, religion came. And all religions try to teach one thing, that you should be moral, should be ethical, should not tell lies, that you should do the correct thing, and that is what religions do. But then human beings have been manipulating religion for their own end, and this is what we have to fight. And I think young people like you must understand. You know, I had a very good friend of mine in law college. He is now a very eminent lawyer, and he's based now in Delhi. But he comes to Bombay quite often, and I meet him because he was my classmate. And he told me, Julio, what is happening? We threw out one government because it was corrupt. We were fed up of the corruption that was there. And now we have another. Which one is worse? We don't know whether communalism is worse or corruption is worse. To my mind, both are bad. Both have to be fought. And they have to be fought by the youth. Because you are the future leaders of the country. This is a trite observation, everyone will tell you that, but it is a fact. Because we will go, like all human beings go. And you will be there for many, many more years, bringing up the future generations. And this is one thing that you must understand. There are two big evils in this country. One is corruption, and the other is communalism. And unless youth take up cudgels against these two evils, I don't think that we will be able to sit on the high table of the Committee of Nations. You know, I was ambassador for 4 years. I know what was our standing in those days. Our standing was very poor, very low. They were very good to me because I was very social, shall we say, and I kept my relationship with all the ambassadors. But they didn't hold us, our opinions, in very great esteem because we didn't count. But now, with this great market that is available, the number of middle class that has increased over the so many years, the last few 25 years, ever since Mr. Narasimha Rao started all his reforms in the economic system, we have got a much larger base of middle class people who form a very good market for the persons who don't know where to sell their goods. So we have become much more relevant to these countries. And our Prime Minister, the present Prime Minister, he goes to all these countries and he has certainly boosted our standing. There is no doubt that today our standing in the world, this is much better than it was when I was ambassador 25 years ago. But if the foreign press also takes up cases like cow lynchings, that these vigilantes, I mean, this causes, they don't understand this. Why should anyone kill anyone in the name of the cow, for instance, even if they feel that the cow is a mother? Well, fair enough, you treat the mother well, you like you would treat your own mother, but don't kill other people on that ground. And this is what really demoralizes people from our country when they go abroad, when they are asked questions like this. And I think that we have to understand this and what communalism is doing to this country, what corruption is doing to this country, both evils that have to be fought. And that is what I say is what all young people should think about doing very carefully, understand that. Let me first start because I was many years in the police. I joined the Indian police in 1953. Now soon after independence, because I think within 6 years of independence. At that time, we didn't have so many candidates appearing for the competitive exam like we have today. It was much less, might be about 10th or more less. And we had a very clear system. The first, in my year, I appeared in the year 52. I was not particular about the police. If you look at you will be surprised. There are people who are half my size. They have joined and you think that only fellows muscular. I'm not muscular, incidentally. My grandson always asks me, where are your muscles? I said, I don't have any. Because he does all those pull-ups and I don't know what else he does. They do spinning and they have sort of rippling muscles, etc. I didn't have all that. But I think I had a little more botheration about what was right, what was wrong, and I think that I was bothered about justice to people, which I think finally people want. So I appeared for the competitive exam. I think my rank was somewhere in the 60s, 66 or something. The first 41 went to the IAS, the ones after that came to the police. And I was one of them who came to the police, and I never regretted it. Because I thought that a lot of work or a lot of help you can give to the people of your country, where you are serving, of course, through the instrument of the police. The police is the first step, first stopping point in the criminal justice system. You have the police, which takes your complaint, verifies it, investigates it, and then charge sheets or absolves the accused. Then you have the second phase, which is the prosecuting agency, which is also to apply its mind to all the facts from the different angles and put up the case coherently in the court of law. If the case has some lacunae, it has to point out to the investigating agency whether it is possible to correct those lacunae or to fill up those lacunae. Then you have the third one is the magistracy, which applies its mind and sees whether the person is really guilty or not guilty. There are different aspects that it has to go through, and finally, after giving the accused a chance, it decides whether the man or the woman is guilty, and if guilty, sentence him or her to a term of imprisonment. The last stage is the prison authority, because they have to take charge of that person and also try and see whether it can be reformed. The system should be reformative, if not that the person is kept out of mischief in the jail for as long as possible. So this is the criminal justice system. And what I saw when I joined was that the ordinary people, because I joined, my first posting was in Bharuch, which is now in Gujarat. Second posting was in Kolhapur, third was in Nasik, fourth was in Jalgaon, which is Khandesh, fifth was in Parbani, then I went to Nanded, from Nanded to Sholapur, from Sholapur to Pune, and from Pune then I came to Mumbai after 15 years of service. And in the real, if you want to see India in its really raw form, you have to go and work in the rural areas. You have to see the poverty that is there in the rural areas. And I think that nobody who has not worked in the rural areas should be asked to take over responsible positions in the hierarchy. I'm talking about the police. Now, one of the things that I was told by the ordinary people, ordinary poor villagers, they would tell me in Marathi, Sahib, apan न्याय देतात ते अंग्रेजी लोक देत होते. I used to be surprised. Translated, it means, sir, you give us justice, and that is only what the English used to do. I mean, I was surprised. You mean we can't give justice to people? Where people come to you, and if you do not address their grievance, very often they come with something which may not be, for example, if there is a quarrel over property, these are things that you may not be able to resolve because you have not the power to resolve it. But still, you can sympathize with them, or you can call the opposite side and ask them to come to some terms. Why are you quarreling over property? I, for instance, don't quarrel over property at all. If there is any problem about property, I just give it away. I have done it. I don't want to go into the details, but the fact remains that property is not worth fighting about. But if there is a fight about that, then you as a police officer should try and help, because you are not really competent to resolve a matter of property. Now, but if somebody is quarreling, creating trouble, giving you unnecessary threats, I mean, these are things that police should definitely try and resolve immediately. So this is a question of dispensing justice at the first stop. And if you can do that, and if your whole attitude is that, then I think you are a very successful police officer. And a lot of people tell me, you are a super cop, you are known, I wish that there was a commissioner like that. But it is not that I am was good in any particular aspect of policing, like investigation of crime or different cyber crime and things. Cyber crime does not exist in my days. It's a new phenomenon. I don't even understand the computer. But still, this is what I wanted to say is that I just did one thing, that saw that people got justice. And that alone brings you much closer to the people. than you ever were. Because people expect justice. You expect justice at home, even in your own home. You expect your parents to be fair to all children. If you have siblings, you expect people to be, your servants will expect you to be fair to them. It's a common everyday occurrence. In the police, you've come in a senior rank, and then you find that your staff expects you to be just to them. Then I ask them, I hope you are just to others. Have you been just to others? You expect justice for yourself. Have you been just to others? Then of course they keep quiet, and they, because they want promotion, they want posting, they want this. Everybody wants for himself. You are acquisitive, but what about dispensing the same, what you expect for yourself, why don't you do it for others? So this is that aspect of it. You know, when I joined the Indian Police Service in 1953, the Britishers had just left, 6 years. My first boss was a Chitpavan Brahmin from Pune, Mr. Nagarkar. I never forget it. Never forget it. As I arrived there, he said, I'm sure he never had a brush with a Christian before, but he said, come and stay with me in his own house. He has a wife, 2 small children, and here is a 24-year-old person whom he has invited to become a part of his own household. So I never thought that he would invite me, but he did. So, and then he told me that the British would do that. He said that he has just gone through it, and he said that the old British IP officers used to ask their juniors who had come to them for training to come and stay with them, so they get trained through. I mean, not only in their work, but also how they should behave with people, how they should deal with people, how they should behave at home. All these things I learned from him, and I never forget it. He no longer exists. He doesn't exist anymore, and his wife, poor lady, can't hear. Even if I phone her, she can't hear, so there's no point phoning her. But these are people whom you will still, they did exist. Why can't everybody of us think about these things? Why can't we, young people for instance, get involved? They talk about police reforms. Now let me tell you, when I joined the service, I know that the power of transfers and promotions, rewards, punishments, all work with the superintendent of police. Mr. Nagarkar had only 4 years service when he became superintendent. Even I became superintendent. Superintendent in the district is equal to what you call deputy commissioner in a commissionerate. So we became deputy commissioners at the age of 28. And he had all the powers of transferring, promoting, and the politicians. My first chief minister was Morarji Desai. He never interfered in this. People would have, if somebody approached him with a complaint, he would send it to the superintendent. Or he would talk to the DG, or IG, sorry, those days there was no DG, who talked to the superintendent. That was their role. They looked after the interests of the public. They were elected by the people, and they looked after the interests of the people. They said there are certain officers who are not straight. They are doing this, they are doing that, and or they are misusing their powers. And they would communicate that to the officer on the ground, that is the superintendent, whose job it was to see that justice was done. Now the situation is totally changed. Totally changed. Fortunately, up to the time I was commissioner, I could withstand that. But I could see that the effort to get their own people posted in certain places. Now you just think about it yourself. Suppose you are in a position, you are the commissioner of police, and you are told by the home minister or the chief minister, post this man to this police station. post that man to that police station, post this fellow somewhere else, and this is finally what happens. Are you then in charge of those people? Will they listen to you? Or are they going to, their loyalties are with the politician? And the politician gets what he wants, gets what people to be arrested as he likes, to be released as he likes. So where is the rule of law? Today the rule of law does not exist, that you must understand. And people like you must understand that. And then if there is a collective resistance to this, then only it will change. You know, we talk about police reforms. Police reform. What are police reform? Police reforms, of course, it means that police should be more gentle, should be more concerned, they should be more efficient. All that is true. But that comes with good leadership. Only good leadership can provide that. It's not the politician who can do that. But you should ensure that the politician does not interfere in the internal working of a police station. Just think about this. Suppose the defense minister of the country tells the army chief, I want that brigadier there, I want that colonel to be in charge of that battalion. We would lose every possible war, because you are doing this at, you are deciding who should be where. Whereas who knows the real value of each officer? Is the officer able to carry his people along? Is he able to carry them along? Only the general knows. In that way, only the DGP and the commissioner knows which of their officers is competent. Who will be able to give this kind of service to the people, because people are entitled to it. And that is what is happening today. The whole thing has become politicized. What is worse, which never happened in my time, is that the Indian police service, you start at the 7th or 8th level. You come as a manager, you have not worked at a police station, you have not investigated a case, you have not patrolled the roads, you have not done any of the work that a police station does, and yet you come there to supervise. Why do you come at that level? You come because they think that you have come straight from the university, you are getting a high position, you are getting a very good salary, and that you are respected in the community, and you will ensure that people below you do not trouble the people, do not trouble the police, the public. This is what the idea was, to have this senior service. But then if the people who come to the IPS, if they themselves start lobbying for positions, saying I want to become commissioner, and go running to this politician, that politician, suppose they finally get that post because of that lobbying, don't you think that they will only do what that people who have been responsible for their getting that post, they will do exactly what that person wants. There is a law. You are supposed to implement that law. Why is that law not being implemented? It is not being implemented because the politician in power has put you in that post and he doesn't want you to implement. This is how the country is being run today. It's not this government alone. Every government that comes does just this. I have gone and met every chief minister in India. And not now, it's about 15, with Lalu Prasad Yadav, I met everyone. Lalu Prasad Yadav, I had to meet, though his wife was the chief minister. She was the chief minister, but I had to meet him. Anyway, and she gave me laddus and things like that. So, whereas she was serving me, I had to talk to him. And all said, no, Ribiero Saab, this cannot be done. We cannot depoliticize. They have to work under us. But at least, sir, be a little bothered about the people you are serving. See that competent people are come to give them a chance to run the force, make them in charge, hold them responsible. But why are you running it? There was here one chief, one home minister, who was constantly calling even the inspectors to his office and telling them what to do. So I wrote in the newspaper that this one photograph, one sketch was made by that newspaper showing that man with the topi, white topi on the half, the other half was a police cap. You know, the officer wearing. That what exactly he's doing? Is he doing his job as minister or is he working as a commissioner of police? Nobody knows. But this is what is really, and this is why I think that young people should understand that this is what, I'll tell you, it is because young people were furious after Jessica Lal was murdered. They got so furious that when the man was acquitted, they made such a big noise. Her mother of course was also in the forefront, I agree. But it was young people who joined. And because of their voice, the culprit has finally gone to jail. If it had not been for the voice of the young, nothing would have happened. They would have continued like that. The man would have been even more, cocky, thinking that he could finish off a few other young women with his gun. I mean, it's ridiculous. Today, you have seen that case in Unnao, where an MLA, he changes party according to whichever party comes in power, he joins that party. And he has already joined, this is the third party he has joined. Now he knows BJP is there, so he joins it. And then the party supports him. I mean, he's raping some of the girls around him and nothing is done. And the police does not take action because it says he's the ruling party. If the ruling party can do what they like, can they just go around in this manner? Now these are the things that people must understand and take up cudgels and shout. Otherwise, there is, never mind which party is in power, don't allow them to misuse their power. And if they have committed an offence, they must be taken to task. They must be arrested, they must be charged, they must be tried. And this is what is our right to, and our duty, not only right, it's our duty to ensure that we don't allow these people to get the better of us. So, this is the problem with the corruption. We have to raise our voices. Young people should understand this, and I do hope that you all young people stand up and join organizations. You don't have to join our organization, you have to support us when we go, and you have your studies to do, I agree, but besides that you should also be conversant with what is going on. You should be all the time aware of the trends, in political trends on the base about corruption and communalism, and raise your voices against it. That is the most important thing. Thank you so much for giving me a chance.